Hello, everybody, and welcome to another SARE National session. My name is Jenny Anchondo, and I'm here as your host and moderator for the event today. Each and every week, we bring you meaningful content that can help you in your professional life, in your business life, in your business world, and we are so excited for today. So our topic for today is this. We're learning about the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, so GDHCC membership. And I do know that some of you will be logging in from outside the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but hopefully we'll still really be able to get a lot of useful information from our speaker today. This is really going to be an overview of membership benefits, programs, free resources, organizational background, team members, and upcoming events. So we're diving into quite a bit. And each and every week, it's important to learn about our speakers just to get a sense of where they're coming from because they all have such rich backgrounds. Today's speaker is Gabriela Carvallo. She is the Vice President of Entrepreneurship Development with the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So she has served as the Vice President of Entrepreneurship Development with the Greater Dallas Chamber, Hispanic Chamber, I should say, since May of 2007. So she has been at it for a while, with more than 24 years of dedicated service and more than 28 years of management experience. She's really become this distinguished leader in minority business development and entrepreneurship. So she's so perfectly poised for our group and for what we talk about each week. So in her leadership role, she's really forged strategic partnerships with public and private sector organizations to create that impactful capacity building program that equips entrepreneurs with essential knowledge for business growth and development. Now, in terms of her specific expertise, it really lies in designing and implementing programs that specifically address the needs of underserved business communities. So this was a perfect connection for her to be here. The list is long in terms of what she has done, but I will say this, if I'll just run down a few of her, noteworthy accomplishments. She has managed numerous influential business development initiatives, including Business Assistance Center programs. So this was actually funded by the city of Dallas from 2001 to 2017. And what this program did was strategically position centers in low-income areas to promote business development, job creation, etc. She's also worked on this executive entrepreneurship program. This one was funded by city, and it targeted support for companies in that $250,000 to $10 million revenue range. So she has quite a range in terms of types of businesses that she's worked with and helped to support. A lot of different accolades as well. So SBA's Minority Small Business Champion of the Year Award in 2006. She's also earned the U.S. Department of Commerce's Minority Business Development Agency Minority Business Advocate of the Year, in addition to Dallas Business Journal's Minority Business Leader of the Year. I could go on, but I don't want to take up her time. So without further ado, let's hear about the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, wow, Jenny. Thank you very much. Thank you for those kind words. Presentations made me feel very special. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Thank you very much for having me here today. As you did the presentation, Gabriela, people know me as Gabby. Been here for 24 years. It is my passion, and I think this is something that I've said before. Feel very blessed to get paid to do something I love to do. So with that, we're gonna go with the first slide. When I was invited by SARE, I said, why don't we go ahead and talk about the chamber? Yeah, it says membership, but really is the story of who we are and the services that we provide for our members in the community. So if somebody would ask you, well, what does the chamber do? I'll talk about the GDHCC. We do three things, and that's our story. We're sticking to it. The three things we do are, one, we build capacity for small businesses. We provide access, and we do advocacy. I'm going to explain a little bit what each of the items are. In advocacy, this is how the chamber started in 1939. I think we're the second oldest Hispanic chamber in the nation. So we've been here for a while. Last year, it was our birthday celebration. We celebrated 85 years and going, right? So although it started as an advocacy organization at El Phoenix restaurant, it was 7 gentlemen and a lady that decided to open an organization to represent small businesses, Mexican small businesses in the Dallas area. With the years and the time that has passed, it became to be the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber, where we welcome everyone, not just Hispanic owned, but any small business that is interested to grow, or anyone that is aspiring to open a business is welcome at our organization. So advocacy, we work in various areas. Advocacy would be we provide and develop a legislative agenda every other year that will mirror the Texas legislative agenda, touching points that affect really small businesses in any change of legislature. For that, we do events on a quarterly basis throughout the year. We have a committee that helps us develop this agenda. So when legislature will affect a small business, whether you're a member or not, we have something where we can rely on to support that entrepreneur or that small business. We also advocate on the participation of contracts for small businesses in the different public agencies, especially how the money is being spent for within small businesses and their participation based on the percentages and the usage, and also on the representation of professionals in the different areas for these public agencies. That will be the advocacy part of it. When we talk about a capacity, so I think something that really makes us different is that we have a very strong department in programs and capacity building. We have from I have an idea and I think I want to own a business, where we have the program that will help you become primary ready and be able to get contracts with the different public agencies around the city of Dallas. So, and really around our region. And when we talk about access, we're talking about access to a strong ecosystem. That's something that we make sure we do as we are building the capacity, provide the ecosystem for that entrepreneur or that small business to rely on, as well as access to decision makers, opportunities, access to capital, really access to the one opportunity that can really change your life and the life of your company. So about us, our motto is building tomorrow's legacy today. As I said, we turned 85 years last year, but we're really looking forward to how we're going to celebrate 100 years. And we hope to be the chamber we need to be at that time, making the difference for our small business community. The mission of the chamber is to grow and support this Hispanic business community in North Texas, but not just Hispanic-owned business. Our programs have always had diverse participation outside Hispanic. And our vision is to create and sustain an inclusive business community for Hispanic businesses to thrive. This is the team. And as well, I'm looking at, we have bilingual presentations because we didn't know the audience necessarily, but then, whether you speak English or Spanish, this will work for you. This is our team. We have Rick Ortiz, President and CEO of the Chamber. We have Ms. Diana Flores, Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for the Chamber, me, VP of Entrepreneur Development, Ms. Hazel Londono Carreño, VP of Operations and Sustainability, Tony Arps, Project Director for our SBTRC program with the DOT, Sagrario Ortiz, Operations and Project Manager, Paola Flores, I'm sorry, it should be Rosas, Program Manager for one of the programs, and I'll be talking about the programs later. Lisette Martinez, Program Associate number 2 for our Scala program. Melissa Carranza, Program Associate for our DAP, and Miss Kenya Wright, which is our virtual office assistant. She works from home and helps us schedule and manage everything at the office. So I'll tell you that for many years, because I've been here 24, for many years, it was 5 of us. And the last 2 years, we had the opportunity to grow the company to 10 employees. So that was really exciting in the sense that we've been such a small company for so many years that we work like a family, and then incorporate a team to work with us in the grants that we received was really a great experience. So the Empower CEO, we've been doing this for a long time, right? Having contracts and programs for small businesses from startup to contract ready, but really we were trying to formalize the concept of what we do for small businesses. Ms. Diana is the one that started with the idea of how do we create a hub where we can house all of our programs. So it's kind of like an academy. You start here and you graduate here, right? That's kind of the concept behind this. And when Hazel joined us last year, Hazel Londono, she put this idea to work and developed the Empower CEO, which is the hub for all the programs that we have. Right now, we have the programs within the hub of the Empower CEO as the ESL Entrepreneurship Program. I'll start with that one because that's the beginning, I'll say, for entrepreneurs. That's when you have an idea, or maybe you're doing something on the side, but it's growing. So we need to put structure around it. Looking at from the entrepreneur point of view, but looking from our end is saying a lot of our business owners are very good at the technical part of the program, of their business. They know how to do the gardens or paint or everything that is the technical part, but managing the company, developing a strategy, decision making, financials, that's completely different from the technical part. And I think that's one of the weak areas we identify in business owners, right? Because they know their trade and they go, and then they're fixing things and building things as they go. We would like that from the beginning they would understand everything that needs to happen. So by the time they get to their third and fifth year, they're in a better position, right, to grow the company. So ESL Entrepreneurship Program was created for people that want to start a business, that are immigrants that came from a different country, but they're deciding to invest in this country and open their businesses and create jobs. We wanted to make sure that, one, they know the language, because we do business in English in this country, and we partner with Dallas College for that end. So they provide the English as a second language classes in person at the Dallas College campus. And we provide the entrepreneurship classes virtually. So that means you can be at home for 4 hours every Wednesday, right? We launched this as a pilot program in 2017, and we just graduated cohort number 20 in May 31st this year. For 300 entrepreneurs that have gone through this program, that are learning the ins and outs. We're trying to make it all even in, do you understand the concepts, introduction of concepts? And then do you understand what it takes to run a business, and legalities and permits and forms? Because we understand that I'm from Bolivia, so the way we do business in Bolivia probably is quite different than the way you do business here. So we just want to make sure that you understand and you grasp everything that you need to do in order to have a successful business. Then we have the Scale Up Success Accelerator Program, which is something that started many years ago with the Executive Entrepreneur Program that you read on my bio. That was around, I want to say it was 2012, but it has grown into what the Scale Up Success Accelerator is today. And this is for established business. So that means you're in your second, third year in business. You may or may not have a business plan. You may or may not run financials, but you've done contracts, you've done businesses already. You may have an employee that you're working with. So in this class, in which I was doing interviews today for our next class, is going to start in August, and it's in partnership with Dallas County. What we do is bring the established entrepreneur first, second year in business, and make sure that, one, you don't have a business plan. Well, guess what? We are going to develop a business plan, and your business plan is going to have your strategic growth for the next 3 years. So it's kind of like when you do a master's degree, you work on a case. Well, you're going to work in this case, which is going to be your company. It's 10 modules. It's 10 weeks. After the 10 weeks, you to have your business plan. And not just that, you will present in front of a panel the strategic growth. People in the panel can be bankers, can be experts in the industry, can be a potential client for you. So we just want to make sure that as you graduate, you have a case of a business plan that will work and deliver and, provide the success that you intended to be during these 10 weeks. Outside that, if you don't have a website, we'll pay for the website because you're part of this program. We also pay for consulting hours. That means we will assign 6 hours per entrepreneur, and we bring CPAs, we bring attorneys, we bring marketing people, management people. So there are areas when you come in into the programs, we interview you, you fill out an application, and we see the areas we see the areas that you need help on, and those are the areas we take into account to work with you. So towards the end, you should be able to have not just an ecosystem around you of partners and information and people that could be a mentor to you in the future, but also you have your immediate network of other small businesses that went through the class with you. You have access to these consultants, you'll have access to the instructors, you have access to technical assistant hours from the staff to make sure that everything that you learn, you will implement in your business plan, and then you will implement it in your business, because what we want to see is success, right? We want to see that every entrepreneur that has gone through our programs is a successful entrepreneur in the future. Let me go to the next one. Continuing to the Empire CEO Hub, we have the Dallas Accelerator Program, the DAP. This is to become a prime vendor. This program is for companies that are really very well established. They have their financials, they have a business plan, they have run contracts for public or private entities, but now they're ready to become vendor, the primes, right? The prime vendor, the general contractor per se. And it is also necessary to prepare that entrepreneur to be able to perform at that level, build that capacity. So we partner with the city of Dallas to be able to provide these services for entrepreneurs that are ready to take the company to the next level on that end. We've graduated 2 cohorts, and we're about I will say this is a very new program for the chamber. It was launched last year, and thank God, thanks to the great work that Heisa, Diana, and Melissa did, the contract was renewed, and we're doing 2 cohorts this year and next year. So we'll start one in August. And, for all this information, you can go to our website. We are accepting applications actually for Scale Up and the DAP. And then we have the Gulf Region SBTRC. This is a contract agreement that we have, corporate agreement we have with the Department of Transportation to build capacity for companies that are within the heavy highway construction industry and the DBE certifications. Something that we have developed through this program that was launched in 2007 is the capacity for our small businesses to be able to get bonded. Because for this industry specifically, there might be contracts that require to have a bond, and that's something sometimes hard to accomplish for the entrepreneur. So we created the bonding education program through this through this contract, and it has shown a lot of success for our small businesses. And one last program that is housed within the Empire CEO Hub is the Small Business Support Program. Really, this initiative was born during COVID because, just like everybody knows, we had to become a virtual chamber overnight, and small businesses are the ones that suffer the most. I mean, they couldn't have access to regular seminars, conferences, events anymore. So we had the opportunity and support of some of our corporate members of the chamber that provided the funds for us to open a line to all these entrepreneurs that had a issue, a problem, had a question, or just needed to fix something that was happening to them. Through the Small Business Support Program, it's technical assistant hours that we provide for free. to our community. You don't need to be a member to have access to this, but it's just pretty much, or has been, the way into our programs. Once you come through one of these interviews that we do and we learn about you, we would usually refer you to the resources we know in the community, or if you can take advantage of one of our programs, then that's how we would work with your small business. I don't know, I'm going, but any questions? Do I just keep going?
You just keep going. You are rocking and rolling, Gabby, but take a sip of water if you need it, but you're doing amazing. I will
Thank
also tell you that your student, Maribel, is on and was saying hello to you. So shout out to Maribel for hopping on.
Hey, Maribel. I'll tell you that I have more than one student, Maribel, but to all of them, hi, Maribel. I'm glad she's on. So now we're going to talk about membership and the benefits of being a member of the chamber. Let me see if I can open these. I don't know if you can see it. Well, we have a QR code here with you, but so as I said, we are a Chamber of Commerce. It's a business association that has members of the chamber, and that's one of the ways that you come and work with us. You know, you join the chamber, become a member, and you have access to events and programs and initiatives of the chamber. I'm making a lot of presentations and giving you a lot of information on the programmatic side of the chamber, but we have a huge area on the area of events and membership itself. So when we talk about the pillar of access, this is what we're talking about: different memberships, three different levels of membership for small businesses. We also have the corporate membership for corporations and public entities. And we also have the professional membership for people that are thinking of maybe changing careers and can join the chamber and have access to all these organizations and, you know, maybe meet someone that can provide that opportunity for them. And we have events specifically for members. We try to do them on a monthly basis or less, just because there are so many events happening in Dallas, and we share the calendars of all the organizations that work with us. So we provide access to not just our events, but other organizations' events for our small businesses. So when I talk about events, we have Coffee with the CEO. And in Coffee with the CEO is we bring C-suite representatives from corporate or public entities to talk about the organization and the initiatives that they're having. And that's the way of providing access to our small businesses. We also have the Lunch and Connect series that's more hands-on. We bring a corporate or a public agency where they would learn how to put a bid together, or how to become how to register as a vendor with Dallas Independent School District, for example. And we also have after hours events where we can have our members meeting and networking and exchanging information, and hopefully that becomes also an opportunity on doing business with each other. We have other types of events throughout the year. We have our Quality and Excellence Awards luncheon, which last year we made it a gala because it was our 85th anniversary. We also have our board installation. That's when we introduce our board leadership to new members. To our community, our new members of the board to the community. So it's kind of introducing how this chamber works and the leadership, the commitment of our leadership to our small business community. I'm gonna go next. This is our membership happy hour coming next. It's June the 26th at 5:30. It says bringing a friend. It's a happy hour. It's gonna be at the Ocho Latin Cuisine in Oak Cliff. So the ones that are here locally, we hope we see you there. You have the QR code to register. It is sponsored by Bridgeport Partners and UU. So we really hope that we can see you next week. You can follow us. This is the team again, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. This is our address, our website. If you have questions about membership, you can go ahead and that's the email where you can go and write to us any inquiries that you may have. But really, visiting the website would be the best way to identify programs or initiatives that we're having. So that's all I have for today. I don't know if there are any questions.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Hey, listen, y'all, we have a long time, so I am ready for your questions. If you have been holding back or hadn't posted your question yet and wanted to, then go ahead and put it in there, and she and I can just kind of have a conversation for the rest of this session, just so people can understand more. And since we do have so much time, I'll actually go back a little bit. I want to hear about how you got involved in the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber. What was it that led you to this career path?
Well, really, it was really quite funny because I came here from Bolivia, right? So when I was looking for a job, I've lived here. I graduated from high school here. I went back to Bolivia for school, and then when I came back, my dad said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna look for a job, I guess." And he said, "Why don't we go to the chamber, to the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber?" And I was like, "Well, why would I go to the chamber?" He said, "I don't know. I mean, that's where business is, and you have a degree in business, so that's where business is at." So we came, and there was a class happening actually, just like the ones I do now. And my dad said, "Let's enroll." I said, "Well, are we going to open a business?" I didn't know. And he said, "Well, let's try it. Let's pretend we're going to open a business. Just go through the exercise." And after 3 weeks, of course, business administration was in my blood by then. So every time we had to participate in my group within the class, my group was always winning because I just had finished business. So I know what I'm doing here with the vision and all that. So I was offered a job by the actual director of the program. Then he said, "Do you want to work here?" And I did not know I was going to fall in love with the mission and everything that this represents, working with small businesses, making sure that they have all the tools to run a successful business. So 24 years later, here I am.
Oh my goodness, that is wild. So they were like, we're not going to let her go. We're not going to let her out there into the work world. We want her to be here. Now, talk about what that was like in the beginning. So how you started off, and then how you've sort of moved through the ranks and grown really professionally over the years.
I will say that at first, I was making sure I felt very responsible when I was talking to them first. When they said, "Well, I want to start a business," and I started talking to them, and then I learned a lot. I will say that I learned so much from my clients, more than me teaching them. I will say they teach me every day, and so I learned that there was different type of um, businesses in different levels, but then not just that, but different ways of learning. But they all wanted to do the same thing, start a business. So even the language I'm from Bolivia, so my Spanish was a little bit different than some of my clients. So when I was talking to them, they would just look at me and say, "Yes, okay." It was Spanish, the same, but it was different words the way I was saying it, right? So I learned the way to communicate where it was easy to understand, because there's a lot of information in 1 hour. Like, you come in, I don't know you tell me this is what I want to do, and I have to give you all this information at once. So I learned how to make that simple for them to understand. But if you ask me why I stayed, I didn't realize I was helping so much. I was focused on making sure they understand, because I want them to be successful, but I didn't know how impactful that was until I was ready to leave for 6 weeks, because I was going to have my daughter, my first daughter. in my class. So I said, I'm going to leave for 6 weeks. I'm the only one providing technical assistance in Spanish for the chamber right now. And I was running 2 centers at that time. So I said, I'm going to start looking at the resources we have in the community where you can also get help. I mean, you don't need to wait for me for 6 weeks. I'll just find somebody else in the community that can help us with this. And when they started telling me, we're going to wait to 6 weeks. We're doing this with you. We don't want to stop doing this. If I have to wait 6 weeks just to continue with you, I'll wait the 6 weeks. So to me, that was very impactful. I did not know how important I was for them until that time. So that kind of doubled my commitments. When I came back, I was like, oh no, I have to work even harder to make sure I bring everything, as much information as I can for them and become that voice for them. So everything shifted up from that point on. And then when I came back, my boss called me the night before I was coming back. He said, Gabby, you have 2 centers that you run, the BACs that you read on my bio. Well, I just want to let you know that you need to bring a suit because when you come back that afternoon, we're going to go and present. We're going to get the 3rd center in West Dallas, which we did. That was my coming back after my 6 weeks. And we ran 3 centers for the city of Dallas and the Business Assistance Center. So that's kind of how this started. And I don't know, when you enjoy and love what you do, I think time flies. Sometimes it feels like 24 years, sometimes it doesn't, but here I am. And I think it's always exciting to see the community, the small business, my community grow and provide those tools for them.
You've done it all. And talk about that component. You mentioned that you had your first child and then came back to work. They really needed you. Talk about how that relationship went, then balancing being a new mom and then being, at this first real big job.
Yes. I mean, it's hard. I will say, nonprofit world, to the audience that has worked or is, I mean, sir, international is a nonprofit. Nonprofit is hard. It's a lot of serving. The employees of a nonprofit organization, we serve, right? We're here to serve. There is a mission that we serve, and that makes our hearts very big and open to be able to be there. But I will say that the organization has been very supportive, our leadership, and on as far as family. And at the end of the day, everybody's involved. I mean, even our family members here are folding flyers, or everybody's involved. This is an act of love, I'll say. So just you learn how to manage that. And my girls now have 2 daughters. They learn to live within this world. And I mean, something that I can share with you is during summertime, there were times where we had all the moms that had kids. We bring all the kids in one of the conference room, put movie, food, close them in there, and just stay there while we're delivering and doing our stuff, right? Delivering the mission and doing what we are supposed to do. So we found the ways to do it.
I can relate to that. Summers as a working mom or working parent, I should say, are very hard, right? If the schools are closed down, you're trying to piece together a camp here, maybe grandma's in town this week. Okay, another camp. Okay, maybe I used my vacation week this time. It's a lot. So I bet those are fond memories of piecing it all together back in the day. How old are your girls now?
I have a 20-year-old and I have a soon to be 14-year-old.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're still in the thick of it for sure. Very much still in the thick of it. Somebody from our audience wrote in saying, Gabby, what really keeps you motivated after so many years?
I will say, I saw the comment that Sally, I will tell her she keeps me motivated. When I see a young Latina trying to open a business with everything, I'm not going to say against, in the sense of there's so much information that she still doesn't know yet, but she has so much commitment to the concept of her idea. And she's like this. That gives me the motivation to go. She's willing to make this a success. I'm going to make sure she has as much as she can have from us with tools and resources to make that happen for her. And just like her, I have a lot of entrepreneurs at home have come through the program. I was running a little late to the practice today for this presentation because I have the interviews all day for our Scala program. And I just interview Aaron, which if you permit me, I will do some what is it? A commercial here. Al Chile Taqueria, please, Oak Cliff. Okay, he was in my class for ESL Entrepreneurship Program in 2019. Since he started with, then he has 3 taquerias, right? And he's now enrolling into our Scala program to open the new concept of El Patio. So that motivates me when I see that they're growing and they will create jobs and provide and move the economy in the local area and help the community in general. I mean, how is not that motivating? We're seeing it happening in them, and then you're part of that story. See, that's what we have a huge one time somebody told me, y'all have a huge psychology paycheck here because you see them be successful. You see them every day with their challenges, but when they make it, you also are there. And so that's heartwarming. That's my motivation. But I mean, I would say that's what it is. See them being successful, that we have accomplished the mission and that we have been able to provide. And somehow, if that was their dream, this was a little bit of our support on that end for that to happen.
And you're making a big impact in your job, so you're able to see the results, right? You're going in, you're meeting with people, you're making connections. So it's like the work that you're putting in, you're actually getting something out of it, which we all know is such a gratifying thing.
It really is. And not just that, because people say, Gabby, how do you know all this? Or how do you? And I said, you teach me. Because every day I have a conversation with an entrepreneur that has an issue. Well, I try to help him fix it or address it or somehow plan it. I don't have answers to everything. I will refer them to someone or talk to some of my team, because you see me now, but it's 10 of them, 10 of us. It's not just Gabby. It's a team of us that every single one of us has a intrinsic role in what all of us do. So I wouldn't be able to do this if I don't have Rick and Diana and Hayes and Paola and Lisette and Sagrario. Everybody has a role. I'm here most of the time in the front because I provide the technical assistance, the same as Paola or Hayesa or Melissa or Diana, but it's a team effort. So when we're here talking to you every day, I learn with your experiences. So what happens when I learn with your experiences and I research and we find how to address it, next entrepreneur that bring me a different type of issue, or if it's the same issue, I have a better idea of how to guide them, right? And say, well, this is what happened to my entrepreneur. This is what I'm saying. Everything in writing. We do contracts, no handshaking anymore, everything clear, things like that, because I've heard, horrible stories, and from that is where we develop. And something that has helped us a lot is having the programs with us. Like when we started with the BAC program, one of the areas of the BAC program was the incubator program, where we would house entrepreneurs within the chamber offices. So it's like I see an entrepreneur every day. I see what they're doing, what they're suffering. Are they talking to somebody? Are they not? Are they selling? Are they not selling? So it's kind of watching live what's happening. And based on that, we learn and we develop, right? I see what it's needed and we come back and we develop as a team. We identify the needs. The first time I remember we did the executive entrepreneurship program, which today is the Scala program. We learned that an entrepreneur in the third, fifth year kind of had the same issues on the financial side of the company as a startup. So now we said, when we're doing a startup, we're going to start here. So with the financials from the beginning. So when they get to their third year, financial won't be the issue. Financials will be something they have and they understand by now. It'll be a different issue probably, but probably better addressed, because if your financials are in place, you're going to be able to do the best decisions for your company.
Of
So
course.
we do all these. So at the end of the day, with the information we provide you, if you have to make a decision for a good opportunity or for an issue, you have the best information at hand to make that decision in a smart way. And if the information you have is not enough, at least you know where to go based on the network that we created and around you.
No, that totally makes sense. I think that you kind of see the back door of everybody's businesses, and so you're seeing what works, what doesn't work, and what a wealth of information. I think that I'm sure the chamber is so glad that you've been there for so many years, because it's like you can't teach what you've learned, right? You can only go through the experience and hear the stories and things like that. Now, I want to get back into membership. So if somebody's thinking about becoming a member, and I know you went through this in your presentation a little bit, but I want to kind of just dive into the basics. What's the first step, and who is and who is not a candidate for becoming a member of the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber?
Well, I think everybody's a candidate. I think there'll be a few industries that we don't go into, like adult industries, probably that don't come to join the chamber because you won't be able to make it here. Okay. Oh, but outside that, it's you just go on our website, fill in an application. We have different levels of membership depending where you are and what you want to accomplish. The information is there. You can call us and say, you know what, I see the information, but I really would like to talk to somebody about this. So we'll schedule a one-on-one to clarify any questions or doubts, or if you just need more information. If you go ahead and join the chamber at any of those levels, you will be scheduled a one-on-one anyways to be able to explain everything that we do. And then from that on, once we have that one-on-one, we kind of understand where you're at. So if it's that you need, and depending on where you are in your business, if it's business development that you need, so networking, being in events, those are the things that you want to be at all the time. We will make sure we introduce you to the right leads or opportunities. If you come to the events, just a coffee with the CEO, an entrepreneur, it can take over 10 emails with an entity, someone they don't know, to just to schedule a 30-minute. I want you to know what I do as a small business. But if you come and coffee with the CEO and the organization is there and they bring all their supply diversity team or all their the buyers, you can handshake all of them and we do an introduction, and then you schedule the appointments. It's the access part of it. It's how it's what you need, and we will be very clear from the beginning when we schedule the appointment. What is it that you need, and this is how we can help you, right?
Okay. So you can find out ahead of time what the commitment is, what the financial commitment is, and what could be done to help you, and if it all makes sense.
Yes. Just going to our website, it will tell you and explain the
Okay.
different levels that we have and what each level means. Like I said, we can have a conversation before you join. For me, when somebody says, "Oh, Gabby would like to join the chamber," if it's something that it's a client that I happen to talk to, like I just said, I invite all of you to the event next week. Just register, please, and then you get to see firsthand. Oh, well, is this something I would like? Because we like new members, but we love renewals. That's our focus. We want you to come back, right? Now, as I said, depending where you are, we have all these programs for small businesses. Let's just see where you fit. What is it that you want to do with the membership? And I'll be honest, it may be that you don't need us. It might be that you need to belong to another association, because that's the advice we give. You are starting a business and you want to be successful. You need to find a mentor. You need to find someone that can help you and guide you, not necessarily be in the same industry, but someone that has walked the walk before you and can tell you, you know what, go this way, it's easier, or help you with the decision making. but also identify an association that can provide to you the leads or the opportunities. So if we see that maybe if you're in construction, I'll say, well, we have the regional, well, no, we don't have. Dallas has the Regional Hispanic Contractors Association. Maybe that's the best fit for you, right? It's not how many members we have, it's how we make sure that if you're going to join the chamber, what is it that you need? Can we provide that for you? And if not, how can we help you identify who would be the best organization, right? But so that's where we are. If you come through one of our programs, this is how much we believe in what we do. If you graduate from one of our programs, we'll give you a year of membership free.
Wow.
But you must graduate. To
Ah,
graduate, you must attend. You can't miss classes. I mean, we put our rules as well, because somebody's investing in you. So what we ask of you is your commitment and the investment of your time on these programs. But so that's how it works. But membership, that's what you come, you join, you have access to all of our events. For certainly most of our events, we don't charge, but because we have sponsors that are paying for it. But like our Quality and Excellence Awards Luncheon, that's a paid event. And we, of course, have prices for members and prices for non-members.
now talk to me about this. If somebody, let's say you're focused on renewals, right? When somebody doesn't renew something, it's often because they didn't use it. It's like when you go to the gym, right? You sign up for a gym membership, and then at 6 months they're like, I want to cancel. Why do you want to cancel? It's usually not a complaint with the gym. It's usually like, I didn't show up. I never worked out. I didn't achieve any of my fitness goals. Is that the case with the chamber? And if so, how do you, if somebody's thinking about doing it, like, how does somebody make the most of their investment? What is your best advice for really getting the most out of it?
I will say, and this is why we have that one meeting one-on-one, because it's 10 of us. It's over 500, 600 members that we have. I mean, we can't call every single one of them. We provide the information through our newsletters for them, through our social media. If you come to events, you will know our website, the information is there. So when we say find an association that will bring you what you need, we really mean that. But you can't join the chamber and then don't come to the events, right? Because then how can you measure it? And that's something we say. If you cannot measure it, don't do it. Because how do you measure success? Was this worth it or not? So in order to measure it or be able to measure it, you got to participate. You got to be there. And talk to us. Because, I mean, it's a lot of members. And it's 10 of us. And all of us are doing something every day that requires talking to people and say, you know what, I joined the chamber and I haven't received the newsletter yet. It's been 3 months. We need to know. But I mean, the sooner you realize, let's say you're your first month in membership, nothing has happened. When we told you we send a newsletter and this and that, and you haven't received anything, don't wait 3 months or 6 months. Or much worse, say, you know what, I never got it. Okay, well, we need to know, because that means something happened. There's a glitch on the system, or we just inputted the email in the wrong way, or sometimes by mistake, somebody will unsubscribe, but they didn't realize they unsubscribe, and we don't know until we go and look into it and say, oh, you had unsubscribed on this date. I'm sorry, let's do this again. But I mean, things can happen, right? But when I say we focus in the renewals, what I mean is we really would like for you to have the best experience with us. So, you will be glad to renew. But I think you get what you put into as well. So I think that the example of the gym membership kind of goes with that, right? So if you're a member and you think something is not working out, call us and say, excuse me, guys, I'm not receiving my emails, or I don't know, anything.
Yeah, just connect. So to that end, I was asking kind of like, okay, what are the habits that lead to somebody not having a great experience? What are the habits that where you see, wow, this person joined and their career has just taken off? What are some of those best practices?
I'll say, I will tell you something very important for a small business is the network. Okay. The more you network, the more access you have, the more people see you, the more present they have you in their mind. So really, it's not really how many people you know. And my students have heard me say this all the time. It's not how many people you know, it's who knows you at the end of the day that can say, oh, you know what, I have this opportunity. Oh, I know so and so. I met so and so in one of these events. Um, so, best practices, identify an association, be part of that association, become a member, invest into that association, attend those events. Sit down and ask and say, okay, what are this is what I need. What can you offer? This is what we can offer for you. Okay, then take the opportunities. And I'll tell you, the more I see you, the more I have you in front of me, because this is outside the the participants of the programs. Because when you're in a program, then we know, because we spend 10 to 14 weeks with you anyways, right? But when it's just a member that has not participated in any of the programs, the more we see you, the more we learn about you and the company. It's easier to identify you. And I'll tell you, people call us, email us opportunities saying, do you know, I need a CPA, or I need this, or I need that. The more I mean, of course, I'll go to my database and say, oh, this is my list of, but the more present I have you and say, but you know what? I know so and so, because they will say that, as even though we provide a list of the companies that are members of the chamber that could provide the service, they'll say, well, who do you recommend? Do you know any of them? Right? So I say, if you join, make sure people know you, make sure you're there. There's volunteer work. You know, we have the ambassadors group at the chamber. And once you're part of, it's like what I've seen is, even the way I network, I go to this event. Of course, I'm here 24 years, but at the beginning, I remember that I will go to a chamber event, of course, because I work here, but then I will go to another organization's event, but then I see people from the chamber there too. Then I go to another organization event. I'm going to say Urban Hispanic Chamber. If I go there, I'll find members of the chamber or other clients that I've seen. So in this network, I've seen the same person probably in 3 or 4 events in the course of 2 weeks. So it's kind of, we are going together, see, like a pack. And the more they see you, the more they're going to remember you. You're part of this group now, and it's easier. When we had the BAC program, I remember that especially if it was a startup company, the first year we'll say, you're going as a volunteer, you're coming with me. I will take my entrepreneurs with me to events, because I needed them to be known by everybody else. You're going to volunteer, you're going to help us register at the event, or you're going to go with me and pass out flyers or whatever. And then towards the end of the year, more people were familiarized with them. Second year, the phone was ringing. By the third year, they were busy. They already had their clients. They already had the small contracts, right? That's how it works. So
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's a great example. Question here sent directly to me. As a member of the chamber, would somebody be able to use the chamber's facilities to hold a meeting for business purposes, or are there any facility benefits or things like that if somebody needs a meeting spot?
no. Well, we are under we office within the one of the Dallas college buildings. So
Ah,
our office is very small. Now, it has happened that I have a member that lives in Fort Worth and has a client in Dallas. One person, one meeting. If you let me know in advance, I can accommodate you and help you with that. But for bigger events, not really. We are within Bill J. Priest Institute for Economic Development. That's where we are housed. And there are rooms, but there are other organizations. So it's really hard to just provide space for that.
yes, that makes sense. Really, they get togethers. So when you hold events, it's not at your physical location, it's elsewhere put on by a sponsor. Is that right?
Well, yes. And yes, we have events in our location because there is a room big enough here where we did our graduation and we do our coffees with the CEOs, or we have done our lunch and connects and seminars. But also we do events like the one we're going to have on the 26th is in one of at UU's in Oak Cliff. That's one of our members, and he's a board member as well as Bridgeport Partners. So that's so we can have it at the location where we are, but not within our offices. Within the building, there are rooms, but it's used by everybody else. We're not the only tenants, right? So it's just, you got to book this in advance. That's why we don't have access anytime we want to. We got to book it in advance. And right now we're booking 2026. So I'm telling you, it's a lot time in advance to do that. That's why it's not our building. So we can't decide over a space. And then we have events in hotels and other areas.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, listen, you have been so generous with your time. You've been so generous with sharing your resources. I did want to give everybody one more time a chance, and y'all don't be shy. This is how you do it with a QR code. You pull up your phone, you get your camera open, you pull it up, and it's like, oh, look, I can get straight to the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber. You can like their page. I just liked it right now. I'm surprised I wasn't already on there, but I know I'm on your Instagram. So you can put it up there. And then what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you if they're watching this right now and they're thinking, all right, Gabby, now's the time. I'm just going to dive in and get connected. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
I will say they can call our main number,
Okay.
214-938-8643. I will say that's the best way. We always have someone answering the phone calls. So our website, our phone call, through our phone number, I think that would be the great way. And then we have the email gdhcc@gdhcc or membership@gdhcc and say, oh, I'm interested in this.
Okay. And if somebody reaches out, it doesn't mean that there's any kind of pressure or anything, right? It's like you can just learn, hey, would this make sense for me?
Mm-hmm. Just investigate, just learn, test the waters. Let's see if is this something for you or not.
Exactly. Never hurts to test the waters. Gabby, thank you so much for your generosity and for your time and for just spending this hour with us. I learned a lot from you, and I know that others did as well. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for the invitation. It was a pleasure.
So I wanted to let everybody know before we hop off today, we do have another session in June. So it's going to be next Thursday, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, same time as today. And we're going over credit scores. So really offering an overview of the importance of credit scores, credit utilization, the impact of collections, strategies for improving credit. This is one that all of us can benefit from, whether you are just thinking about starting a business or whether you are deep into your business world. We'll talk about business credit, personal credit, etc. So it's next Thursday, June 26th, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. This again is going to be right here, same platform. So we will see you back here in a week, same time, same place. And this presentation we just had with Gabby is going to be out on Sarah National's YouTube channel by Wednesday. So we give 6 days to get it up. Once it's out there, you can share it with a friend. You can watch it again to kind of get re-enriched with those details, or perhaps send it to somebody else. All right. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.